The news and views expressed herein are the sole property of Kenosha Today. Certain portions of this program may be unsuitable for children, sensitive adults, small animals, and the general public. Viewer discretion is advised. So, Uncle Scotty, how did your Christmas go?
That was the Polar Express.
Welcome to the Kenosha Today Holiday Hangover, Part 1.
You know, I had not 1 ounce of alcohol yesterday, and I feel like I'm just dragging. I did nothing. Good morning, everybody, and happy holidays to everyone. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, along with Elmo the Insane
Snyder, and welcome to the December 26th edition of the Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. This is our last show, technically, of 2020, because we will be here next week, but that will be December deuce, right?
Hardest working men on television while everybody else gets these two holiday weekends off.
We're here for you.
We're here for you. So
We're taking off the entire
dedicated.
month of January, so forget it. No, we're gonna take at least the first week off of January. I mean, that would be the
First 2 weeks we're going to take off.
All right.
And hopefully we might be back on Channel 14 after that.
Yeah,
So,
that's about what they predicted. So, as you can tell, we have escaped the bonds of Barter Manor Family Room, and we're up here in the Rumpus Room to broadcast anywhere on this wonderful planet we call Earth. We are streaming live across the frozen cornfields of the Midwest this morning to everyone all around the world. And we are brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. We remain committed to the great city of Kenosha, and we will continue to broadcast the live and local, bringing you the most up-to-date news, weather, sports, and entertainment. And, of course, we welcome your call-ins, 262-597-3020. And if you want to watch a replay, simply just have to go to YouTube, type in Kenosha Today Breakfast Club, and there you go. And like Elmo said, it should be back on 14, probably about mid-January. And we're going to have probably a new time slot. I keep forgetting to
yeah,
sort
so
that
if
out.
we take off, it'll be the 9th and the 16th. So then our next show would be on the 23rd of January that we're going to do. So then that's
What will the community do without us?
rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. We're just singing
Of
that
course,
song.
everybody can
Okay.
sign up with the thousands of our fans who have joined the Kenosha Today Nation and liked us on Facebook. Our phone number, again, 262-597-3020. It is only 23 degrees here in the Kenosha Today Nation this morning. Actually, the stock market, for those that are in there, closed a little over 30,000, which is on a good side. And so the Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club starts right now. Kind of a slow news week, other than it was Christmas. Big, you know.
Oh, it
I
always
should say
is.
big. But here's
Well,
what,
they blew up downtown Nashville. That was kind of a big
yeah,
story.
we're going to
so-
get to that. in a minute,
Yeah,
but, here's what the Kenosha News did above the fold. Wolf Lake water level down this winter to allow beach reconstruction. Let's get behind that story, huh?
Where's Wolf Lake?
I have no idea. I think it's it's out by the Bong Recreation area.
Oh, okay. So it is actually in Kenosha County?
That Bong is, yeah.
Okay.
Wisconsin Department of
Well, I knew that, but I didn't know they had a name for
I
some
didn't
pond
either.
out there. Okay, that's
It's in memory of volunteer nationalist Vern Wolf.
oh, okay.
I'm sure. I think I remember that name. But I just thought that's how bad the Kenosha News was, because a very fine newspaper.
Okay.
And at any rate, that was their lead story above the fold, and I just thought I would drain the swamp with that. Of course, what's on everybody's mind is how Congress is going to deal with the Monday, whether they're going to come up with 2,000 or stay with the original bill. And they got to sign this, otherwise the government shuts down.
Good.
Okay, now I'm okay. Otherwise they shut down, and you know what? maybe so, maybe not, because everybody that gets their Social Security check, like me, that's all in jeopardy. And when you shut down,
They never shut that down. They'll shut down about 20% of the government when they call a
that's
shutdown.
okay. Well,
Social Security goes out, the military still works, everything else still works.
right.
They shut down the national parks just to piss people off and other stuff like that.
all right. Well, we'll see what happens. I hope.
Remember when they shut down the monument and didn't let the honor flight veterans in there?
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's it.
okay.
So
that was for a month, and then
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course the IRS is getting ready. They haven't.
you can
published-
shut them down. That'd be fine with me. So
Sure. Well, not with me. And so we'll have to see. They haven't published a date when they're going to start processing. I heard this last week. They're still processing over 3 million returns from 2019. Now, some people they've cashed checks. The IRS back in March, they cashed the people that owed their checks, but they haven't processed their return. So if you go to the IRS website today, don't call us. We're not answering the phone, and we're understaffed, and yada yada yada. So, I think that I hope they get this done just for the people that need the unemployment, and I don't care if they go 600 or whatever it's going to be, but some people need this money. Not all, but some.
but yet we have Pakistani gender studies that we're funding out of this thing.
I've got
so,
that.
Okay.
when we're waiting for Gunga to call because I
I think
figured
Clyde's in charge of that. He's
Yeah.
got the grant, so that's
what came up and it's out of this $900 billion. Pakistan is going to receive $640 million for gender studies. They've been doing this since 2015, and we'll have to talk to our guy out in the field, Gunga, because he's from Pakistan. He can
yep.
lend a little bit on that. By the way, for those of our waiting your property taxes, I got notification they are in the mail. Most of you will get them today, if not today and Saturday.
Oh, the tax bills?
Your property tax bills, and I got to tell you, I can't imagine them not going up. I think the city's done a good job of keeping within 2%, and so is the county, even though they're adding.
Everybody's jacking up. School board is
The
pretty.
school board's the one that I have a real problem with because we were down, we would get less state aid, but instead of laying people off, we're going to get to them in a little bit too. They should just close up some of those places. And then if you go to the United States Postal Service, we are experiencing unprecedented volume and limited employee availability. So I had a guy, I sent something, Priority Express, actually it was to the IRS, on December 2nd. It gets there on the 3rd. And they don't guarantee Priority Express. Priority mail. You get a tracking number. If you mail the overnight stuff, you get a guarantee. But
I heard an interesting thing. Both UPS and FedEx have had record years, even though Amazon is cutting them off, gradually decreasing their volume with them and going to their own delivery thing. But it's just so many people are ordering stuff online with all the COVID things, and it's I heard FedEx revenue is up 29% this year over last year. So
and you know what? That's like you said, they have eliminated, or Amazon has cut them out of the equation.
well, they're not cut out. There's a gradual reduction there.
Right.
So
But Amazon's eventually.
we got to
right?
talk about cash.
Eventually, Amazon's going to own their own fleet,
Yep.
And it's supposed to be all electric by.
My sister's boyfriend is one of the muckety mucks in charge of this. He's real high up there, and he said, if you can believe this, this is the kind of cash they're dealing with. And it was basically on the West Coast. They bought 100,000 electric delivery vehicles.
Really?
So if you can imagine how much money that costs. They also bought 8 737 cargo planes. On it, so obviously they got a little cash they can, and they didn't take out a loan for that stuff, boys and girls. So that's
yeah, that's true. This is not your 3.2 financing.
yeah.
Kick the tires type of thing. But that's pretty. But everybody
It's
else.
just
is buying-
amazing. It's just amazing to think. Most people can't even fathom what that, what that is. So,
Eight. What's 737s?
8 737s. Yeah.
And the 737's got to go $1 billion or a couple more. How much?
I have no
I
idea
should ask
what.
Daryl.
Yep.
I think that at
I
least
got
$1
no
billion
idea.
for one of those. So what happens when you got a company as big as Amazon, and they either pay taxes on it or spend money to buy more cars or planes, and they just become bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's right. Yep.
And but even so, all the other people that have putting Amazon out of the equation have ordered online from Kohl's or wherever. That has created a whole.
I have an issue with Kohl's because I went to order something from that because I had a gift card.
Yeah.
They wanted me to give them a regular credit card too along with that. I don't want to give them that information.
I never heard of that.
They would not process it unless I put a regular credit card in there along with
Their own?
along with the gift card that I had.
You know, I had an issue with Kohl's.
So I don't order from them anymore.
This has been about 5 years ago. On Wednesdays, they have senior citizens. Now, it was more than 5 years ago. I was only 62 at the time. So I had a couple sweaters, 50% off. And according to this, right on the flyer, seniors get another 10%. She asked me for my ID card. I said, I'm not buying beer, I'm buying sweaters. She says, well, you know.
You're taking the senior discount. Yeah.
Yeah, but she said the seniors discount at Kohl's starts at 65. So she says, read the fine
Did you
print.
hit her with your cane?
I was a little upset by this point in time. You know, the fine print on the back says, yeah, 65. I said, the rest of the world starts senior citizens at ARP at 55, or some of these places where you get your
Well,
senior
it's their
citizens.
store. They can make
Yeah,
their
I
own
know.
rules. So.
Well, they upset my feelings. So, all right, enough. Now for you, Kohl's people, it's a mighty fine store. In fact, you know what? When you return something from Amazon, they have worked out a deal at Kohl's.
At Kohl's, I did that.
I didn't know that.
They sent me a pair of shoes in the wrong size. Even though the box had the right size on them,
Right.
the shoes were the wrong size inside. So
You-
it wasn't Amazon's fault. So
No, but you still take it. They don't even care whose fault it is.
no.
In this case, I accidentally ordered an extra set of whatever it was, and you just take it in the back counter, and you don't even have to have the box, the package. You just you have to print out your own mailing or return slip, and away you go.
They were very good. They took care of everything.
Oh,
They
yeah.
brought it in, packed it up, did it all for you. So it worked out very well.
You know, and then there's been cases, I'm not plugging Amazon, but where I bought something, and it was less than $20. They said, "We'll just credit your account. We don't want the item back." Mm-hmm. So, because it's probably worth more, or cost them more, I should say, to process it and do all that business.
Oh, can I make an announcement here, Scott? I just want to let all our fine viewers know that we've increased the number of people that can call in on there. We may not want to take you all at one time, but at least I can see if you're calling in. You won't be blocked out on our gigantic screen that we have here that shows all our callers.
Well,
on
look
there.
at the phone lines light up now. Huh?
That's right.
You know what the 1 year anniversary coming up next week is the 1 year anniversary of Illinois legalizing the sale of marijuana.
That's right.
And you know, initially, the places that are on the border, like Beloit and up the street to Rock County and Janesville,
Zion Waukegan.
yeah, they thought there would be major problems. This was in Rock County, which is up north of between, I guess, Janesville and Beloit.
Yep.
The year before,
No, Janesville is in Rock County.
okay, yes, okay,
And so is Beloit.
but it's not that
It's just north of Rockford.
right. So the year
Like the Rock River goes through there. That's why they call it
Oh.
Rock County.
Anyway, they only lodged 200 arrests this year compared to 179 in the same period in 2019. So didn't hardly have a big to do on anything.
Nope.
You know, whatever happened? I thought we voted on an advisory back in November to.
It'll never go through.
It was just an advisory, right?
No, that's how
don't even-
Evers got elected. That's why it was on the. That's why it was on there because it brought all the hippies out that didn't care about anything else, and they voted for that, and they
I
voted
would
for
have
Evers.
been curious to see how the just the advisory referendum turned out.
Oh, it was huge. They got all the people from
Madison.
all the stoner students voted, and they went along, and I think we have our camel expert here. So that's a good.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Oh, I'm sure I am.
So, what do we say how do we say Merry Christmas in Pakistani?
Kiss my ass. All one person.
Hey, how come you're the only guy we can barely hear? Are you on a speaker?
Actually, I have earplugs in, and then I have the transmitter in my rear end.
That's
Quite frankly, I have no business calling your show.
obviously you didn't read the instructions for that phone, but
Hey, this question that we have to you, being from Pakistan, that the United States government gives Pakistan since 2015 about $600 million to study gender studies. What's the deal in Pakistan? You guys don't know a male from a female? And you need our money to figure it out?
obviously you don't.
The problem is, Mr. Barber, is we have three penises. One in our ear, one in our mouth, and one between our legs.
Don't you have something better than that? Hey, seriously, I can barely
God.
hear you. And I'm wondering why I'm even bringing that up.
Can you hear me better now?
Oh, yes.
Much better.
Much better.
Yep.
Okay, did you hear me? Did you hear my response?
Yeah. We don't,
Yes, we
no,
did.
No need to repeat that.
Oh, well, if you're wondering what gender they are, they're all three.
They're a what?
They're all three. All three genders.
All three, okay, three genders.
All right,
We have-
excuse me, I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm only familiar with two.
Well, then obviously you're not familiar enough.
Do I dare ask what the third one is? Because I know there's the male, and I last I knew what a female was, but been a long time.
I called early to bring your show down. Just for this.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
So I'm
Am I the first caller?
Yes,
Yes.
you are. You beat Shirley.
Oh, that's a shame. I trust your birthday, Mr. Barger, yesterday was well.
No,
celebrated.
that's next week, isn't it?
yeah. My birthday was actually back in November.
Oh, I'm not talking to Jesus Christ.
No. You got confused when you saw me in swaddling clothes laying in a manger.
He left town on a Greyhound bus yesterday. That's it's.
Oh, how wonderful.
You know, you shouldn't be talking like.
Did you celebrate it by yourself, or did you have family?
Well, the family decided not to do much this year. They kind of went their way. I stopped for a little bit.
Hey, are they over the virus? Got you had all,
Yeah,
everybody.
they-
They were all quarantined.
They were all quarantined, so
Oh, that's a shame.
I said you can take my present and just send it over UPS or a truck rental because I'm sure it's going to be that big. Hey, I got your Christmas card. I want to thank you, but I just want to tell you I did report it to the post office because it was missing the $100 bill that I'm sure you enclosed in there, didn't you?
You had $100 bill?
No. Follow me now. Follow me here. I got your Christmas card, and I immediately called the United States Postal Office to report a claim for the $100 bill that was missing, that I'm sure you put in there, correct?
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
You know me, Mr. Generous.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't do much. I laid on the couch and watched football all afternoon. You know what? You know what really gripes me? I don't know why, and I've said this before. They have these football bunnies that they put on the sideline. They lend nothing. It's not a sexist comment. It's just these little Miss Prissies with the blonde hair lend nothing to this football game. I talked to coach. Go ahead.
Well, the NFL has to hire stupid people too, you know.
It's not the NFL. It's the TV station.
Yeah, Fox.
That's
Or
why I
CBS.
listen to all the games on the radio. They don't have. Then I don't have to put up with that. See,
I know.
there's a solution to your dilemma here, Scott.
Well, I like watching the football game, but
I don't. I hate the commercials and I hate the announcers.
Okay.
So.
But at any rate, I like them.
And I hate football.
There you go, the trifecta. But I just don't know why they put. You know who started this coup was Pam Oliver. She was the first one, and now they put these girls, and they try to pretend like they know what they're talking about. I talked to the coach coming out of the locker room. Well, the Vikings are getting slapped all around her by 30 points. Well, what'd you say to your team at halftime? Well, we suck. Well, what are you going to tell them? I just don't.
There's maybe two that have a little knowledge of the game, but other than that, the other dozen of them are just useless.
And they do it. The Cubs and the Brewers do the same thing.
And did I tell you about how I'll talk to you about how we define useless.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gun.
Anyhow.
Yes. Anyhow.
How are you defining useless? I'd like to help hear elbows.
Be careful.
Well, no, I can't talk about it on. You know, I am the grand poobah of the Useless Club here in Kenosha. So we have Scott is permanently banned from being from membership in the Useless Club.
You what?
That's quite high praise.
Oh well, thank you. And my mom didn't think I'd amount to much.
K-Dog is in the Useless Club. I am the originator of the Useless. I'm the creator of the Useless Club.
So getting back to my original question.
Dog has beautiful hair.
But Scott has beautiful hair.
I got a bad hair day going, so don't start on me.
No, K-Dog has beautiful gold.
Oh yes, he's got those silver locks.
White.
Yep.
You two guys got a thing going?
Well, only when I'm at Amen Corner and you're not there. Jim.
So you're two-timing me, right?
Well, it's turnabout is fair play.
So I'm not the only gray-haired old guy in your Rolodex, right?
No, that's horny. No, you're correct.
Why do you have to bring that up?
Well, he expressed that. He shouldn't be able to express his feelings on this world-renowned show of sympathy.
Show of sympathy. You know what the word loser is?
What would be the word Luther?
Loser.
Oh, loser. Okay, I thought you were making a religious reference here.
It begins with an S and ends with an R.
Oh, we got a couple more callers. Boy, they came in right at the same time. Look
Don't
at this
go
here.
don't go away, sweetheart.
Talk about sweethearts. Now this is. Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
All right, turn either your radio down or your computer.
And good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, everybody.
All my
Hi, Dennis.
all my
What's going on, you guys?
one at a time now.
Good morning.
Okay, are we all done with the pleasantries? Okay, another one.
Good morning, Ganga.
Okay.
My favorite.
All right.
What did you buy me for Christmas? I didn't get it yet.
I've got it right here.
Now, my children gave me the best Christmas present of all time, and I'm not going to say anything about it. You're just because because of the latency delay. You're just going to have to wait until you see it. And
It'll come up in about 12, 15 seconds.
it's a cutting board. I'll give you that much on it, but it'll show up pretty soon here.
Hey, in the meantime, Shirley, I got your, as I told Gunga, he sent me a Christmas card. I got yours, and Dennis, I got yours too, but I had to report all three of them as theft because the $100 bills that you were going to put in there, they disappeared.
Well, that's odd. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah. All right, do you see Elmo's Christmas gift? We are in troubling times.
I've raised a couple of good children here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, man.
I did get money for Christmas. I got some money.
What do you need money for, Shirley?
Yeah. New pot season coming
I
up?
know I don't go out much to spend it, but if I ever get where I can get out, I've got to spend it.
You know, I got a text from my 18-year-old granddaughter. She used to do the weather when she could get up at a decent hour on a Saturday morning. She says, you know, most grandkids, you know, Wiz goes way back and this Nana and this Bubba thing. I didn't want to be called that. She says, Merry Christmas, Scotty B. Now, what's that for a grandfather? It's okay. I'm well accepted.
It couldn't be worse.
Yeah. Like, you owe me, Grandpa. You owe me big time. I got a text from my 18-year-old granddaughter. So,
Somebody's still got something on
Shirley,
in the
you got
background,
your radio on or
or the
something?
computer on it. You got to shut it off.
No, it's I turned it off. No, it was you
Okay.
on the computer.
It causes a little problem. So everybody got what they
turned
wanted
it
for
off.
Christmas? Dennis?
Oh yeah. I cooked up a storm. I made them lasagna and an apple pie and all kinds of cookies, all kinds of everything.
Sounds good.
Dennis, what'd you get?
We ate good. Yeah, we ate good.
Dennis, you there?
Yes,
Okay, what'd you get for Christmas?
How's Nancy? How's Nancy?
Okay.
Hold on.
very good. She just got home from working out again.
Tell her hi. I love her. Hi.
Shirley loves you, Nancy.
Oh, come on. We gotta come up with
She
it.
yelled, "Hello, Shirley. Hello, Scott. Shirley, show everybody what you got."
Yeah,
That's for the weather
and I love
forecast.
Nancy too, and her hard body.
Shirley,
Hey, we still had Santa's helper show up.
yeah.
So
Shirley, why don't you give us the weather report?
You want?
Oh
you want
yeah.
Give us the,
Okay.
and then I'll do the
Here
top
I
10.
go. Just a second here. Partly sunny and not as cold today. 33 to 23.
Oh.
Rain tomorrow. Rain and snow showers late in the PM. It's warmer though. 41 to 24.
Oh.
Monday clouds
Guys, behave
and
yourself.
sun. Breezy, very windy on Monday.
Oh,
And
I hope are you
colder.
wearing a? Are you going to wear a dress? I hope it's real, Wendy.
There I am. and Tuesday cloudy, and then Wednesday rain possibly mixed with snow early, 42 to 23. So it's going to get a little bit warmer,
good.
That
which
was,
I'm glad. Christmas Eve was terrible. It was so cold.
well, the weather
How
was brought
cold
to-
was it?
It was very, very cold.
Get her. Kenosha Today's Radar Weather was sponsored by Kappa Web Design, which is a locally owned web design and development business here in Kenosha, specializing in web design, development, maintenance, site services, and support. Who actually designed and is currently developing our site, KenoshaToday.com. And for more information, you can visit www.kappawebdesign.
Well, you know, they've been currently developing it for a long time. Are they going to finish
I'm a
it?
slow developer. So, my question, I got two questions. Did everybody get what you wanted for Christmas? Gunga, we'll go one at a time. Gunga.
Yes, I did, Mr. Barter. Also, I was asking. I'd like to ask Mr. Mulrat. Have you been practicing your moans? You're quite excellent at it.
Oh,
Thank you.
Actually, he's the mall rat's the only one with the moaning that does any show prep for this. He sits there in front of a mirror, puts a towel over his head, and starts moaning.
No, he's actually sitting on the toilet making those sounds. So that's the.
Jesus.
Yes, I do. I do my share of moaning when I'm on the toilet too, when I'm constipated.
We don't need to hear that, Gunga.
Yeah,
Oh, but
Shirley, you
Mr.
tell
Barter
him.
did. I'm bringing his show down from the beginning, so it'll never rise like the Phoenix.
Well, as long as we're going down here, you guys want to hear today's top 10?
Sure, why not?
Just don't moan. It's written in our home office here in the confines of Barter Manor. This week's top 10 thought-provoking category. Kenosha Today's top 10 Christmas gifts that were returned this year. Okay, hold the applause.
What are they?
Well, I'm going to get to them. Number 10, the Rudy Giuliani hair dye kit. That was returned. Number 9, the Nancy Pelosi Botox gift set. Number 8, Mitch McConnell's Mr. Potato Head double chin blow-up doll. Number 7, the 9-piece Uptown Bulletproof vest. Number 6, never before used garage door code to Barter Manor. Okay. Number 5. Shirley's Guide to Growing Great Reefer.
yeah.
Number 4. Vladimir Putin's computerized spyware underpants. Number 3.
Vladimir?
What did I have? Vladimir? What's it?
He has Vladimir Putin, not Vladimir Putin.
Isn't it Vladimir?
It starts with a V, not a G.
Oh. I thought it was Vladimir. That's
It's
right.
Vladimir.
That's a V. All right. Made a mistake. Number 3. The Mall Rat for Dummies Instructional Handbook. Number 2. This is the big finish. The Pakistani atomically correct 3-humped camel.
Yeah.
And for you guys in
Kinda like
Chicago,
that.
here's the number 1 Kenosha Today Christmas gift that was returned this year. Chicago Bears COVID-19 Super Bowl tickets.
That's quite good, Scott.
Well, thank you, Shirley. And I'm sure your 2 male colleagues, Dumb and Dumber, would concur with that.
That's Mr. Dumber. Thank you.
Definitely.
All right.
Amen.
So, big
Amen.
football tomorrow.
Did what?
I had to take a slice of water here. My throat is getting parched. Big Packer game tomorrow. Although New Orleans won yesterday, so if the Packers got to still win one more to keep the number 1 seed.
That's right.
And so tomorrow's a big game up, and who are we playing here tomorrow? Would helpful if I knew it's the Titans.
There's a lot of stories about the number 1 seed in the Bible.
That's that Adam and Eve thing,
mustard
with the
seed.
leaf and all that.
It was the mustard seed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Packers 11-3, the Titans are 10-4, and I think the Titans still have something to play for in their division. I'm sure they're already a wild card, but
Well, I know they'll be dedicating that game to what happened in Nashville yesterday.
yeah, that's we'll talk about that in a minute. But I think, of course, then that game's on a Sunday night, marquee game where all the advertising is. Oh, excuse me, Dennis. What time are the Bears playing tomorrow?
We have
Noon.
another caller here, Scott.
Where nobody watches. All right, you 3 hang on. We're going to take one more caller.
Who's this?
Could be Paul. Good morning, you're on Kenosha today.
Christmas plus 1 day.
What?
Boxing Day. It's Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day today.
What's Boxing Day?
Box all your gifts up and take them back.
Yeah.
No, and tomorrow's Wrestling Day.
I did not know that.
Do I dare ask what that's about?
The day after that is Highlight Day.
What's Wrestling Day?
No, Boxing Day.
Well, you have boxing first and then wrestling.
I got the boxing part, but enlighten me with the wrestling.
Well, it's another sport that they play in a ring.
No, it's when they dig up the crusher and dance around his dead body. That's what it is.
I love it. Elmo, let's go. And then let's go by the Fon statue, too.
Don't you guys want to take time out and rearrange your sock drawer just to kill some time?
No, I have to go down to the drugstore and watch the cheese slicer demonstration.
Hey, you know what? You guys are men of the world, you 3. And if you were to call up a gal or email her and say, would you like to go for dinner? And she says, no, I can't because I have to rearrange my sock drawer. What would that be an indication of? Well, or yeah. This
Well, my response would be, maybe I can help you and you can sock it to me.
Why didn't I think of that? All right, Paul, what's your opinion?
I'm so far removed from that. It's only been 11 years, but I wouldn't want to even. I guess if I had come down to, it'd be like, a definite sign like, move on.
Gunga?
But Paul,
Go ahead, Dennis. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, if she let me help her rearrange her socks, I know it was a real positive sign because if she let me get in her drawers that quick, then
I
that'd be
knew
great.
this was going to take a matter of time just before.
Hey, Dennis, you know what? That stuff never works out the way you think it would. Wake up and have an ice missing a kidney.
Well, then I could take her for a romantic walk to the mall.
No,
Well, you married guys got this all figured out, don't you?
happens when you push this kind of thing that he's talking about, and there's more nefarious things going on. Like I said, you're going to come out missing a body part. All of a sudden, you're going to be minus one kidney. You don't want that. There's nothing but trouble nowadays with that kind of stuff.
That kind of takes the community property aspect out of the equation, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, you're gonna see Elmo's Christmas present that he got coming up here in just a couple.
Well,
of
he
seconds.
mentioned one kidney, so I thought I had to. Do
That's
the whole thing.
Here you go, Paul. You're an EMT guy.
Side of fava beans.
That's what Elmo got for Christmas, right there. Should be coming up shortly.
Yeah.
It's been up, so
And then Dennis, you're minus one kidney, right?
Yeah.
You come home and you try to explain that to your wife. Well, guess what? You're going to be missing two eyes because she's going to gouge them out. There's no upside to any of that.
Paul, I want to say something in all seriousness.
Not
You are the
initially,
number
Walt.
one citizen of Racine, and as Regency Mall goes further and further down the failing retail turnpike, I believe they should rename it after you and call it Paul Mall.
I'll tell you what, that would be fine, Dennis, as long as I could I could be the point person on the redesign of it, the rebirth of it, because I have a good way of doing that. I could definitely turn that thing around. Look at what they did at Bayshore and Brookfield. Same concept applies at Regency.
I actually closed the
You
deal
have
when they
metal
first built the
detectors
place.
at all the doors?
Hey, Paul. Seriously, I heard they were going to level it and start over because indoor malls are a thing of the past. Have you heard anything to that?
Well, they should. No, but they should. I've been advocating for about 5 years now that they need to complete. If you look at what happened up at Bayshore Mall, that was dead, and then they went to that Bayshore Village approach.
Yeah.
With all the stores with the outside doors and stuff like that.
It's basically upscale strip mall. That's all it is.
Successful.
They're failing now too, though. That's the other problem.
Well, as long as we're talking let's go to a serious topic. What happened in Nashville yesterday. What is your? We'll go around one at a time. Paul, you go first, and we'll go to Dennis, sure, and then Gunga.
Well, Scott, in all seriousness, I thought yesterday would have been a perfect day with all the transitional things going on with our government now and a lot of confusion going on. I told everybody, watch out for Christmas Day. It'd be a perfect time for some idiot to do something stupid like this.
I don't think this is my view to the magnitude.
This was highly planned.
Oh yeah, this was
Yep.
this wasn't some idiot. And just to go with what you said, if you want to go after the United States, this is the time to do it with our government kind of in a flux, and they hacked into all our computers. What do you guys think, Paul?
Well, if you're asking me, unlike Dennis, I'll admit I never saw this coming. I really didn't. I mean, I think we've all been at least I've been so focused on the virus and kind of what's going on with the election that I frankly did not see this coming at all. And I'll say this. Nowadays, I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know if this is deep.
I agree,
I
Paul.
don't know if this is a single person. I don't know if it's part of a terrorist network, either be it domestic or foreign. I don't know. I just don't know what to think anymore. And I'll tell you, like I told you in the past, conspiracies, I never used to be a conspiracy theory guy. Now I am. After what's happened in this country over the last 4 years in this world, Scott, I really don't know what to think. But I won't dismiss any thought or any idea.
It is scary.
Yeah,
though,
but
isn't
you
it?
know what?
It is scary.
I wonder about the motive, though, because the guy called 15 minutes ahead, and they were able to evacuate people. So what was his motive? What was the motive?
I gotta believe it was the AT&T building.
Nope. That's it.
Taking out the communications.
Taking out the communications.
And look what happened. They eliminated. You couldn't get in and out of Nashville. And they eliminated a whole. I got a feeling there's going to be more of this in the upcoming weeks. What do you think, Gunga?
Your topic is
It's kind of close to home with him, so.
for me. You better skip me.
Okay. Well, like Paul said, this caught everybody by surprise. I mean, this wasn't on anybody's radar, but you got to start connecting some dots. Our government is kind of in a flux right now, and you had the hacking of.
Scott, what concerns me, if I may just chime in, what concerns me is, 4 years ago, I would have thought, the FBI's on, they'll get it taken care of, And you all know where I stand politically, but I have no confidence in the FBI anymore. And, so...
Neither do I.
In the past, we've always said, yeah, we'll start connecting the dots, but I don't know, and maybe that's the goal of these people is to get us confused, but I don't know what to believe anymore, or who to believe, or who's on our side, or who's not. So I have no confidence in the FBI connecting the dots on this one.
Homeland Security, but we'll see.
No, the problem is nobody reads history. I read lots of history. The anarchist movement started back in the 1870s, right after kind of the Civil War thing got going, and it was big in Europe, it's big in the United States and stuff like that. And this is just they're still here, and their whole thing is to just create chaos. They don't want the government to do anything. And look at Portland, look at Seattle. They're being very successful at what they're doing there. They've been all over Europe. They were even in Russia and stuff like that. The anarchists are everywhere. They were known as Apaches when they first got started in there. They did Paris, they did Munich. They've been every single place like that. And they're just people that want to create chaos. And that's all it is.
Hey, Paul, what's going on in the Kenosha paper today? There's a big investigation going on up in Racine. Did we lose somebody?
No, Shirley checked off.
Okay. Financial irregularities.
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Okay. Well, first of all, this is just basically a headline because financial irregularities reported in Sheriff Supervisors Union, probe underway, and Racine County passed this off to Kenosha County. And I don't even know, a supervisors union, they must not belong in the regular sheriff's union with the rank and file, I suppose, but there's some money missing, and I guess I would be shocked if they didn't find something else because, you had an outgoing mayor that resigned a couple years ago to be with his family. But
where's this?
Can I share something with you guys? I mean,
sure, go ahead.
At some point, I just want to share a story. Another lesson in civics, civil disobedience, and government from none other than Little House on the Prairie. Honest to God, I was watching the last episode of Little House on the Prairie yesterday, and some wealthy guy came in and snookered the people of Walnut Grove out of the town.
I heard this story. Yeah.
And yeah. And honest to God, and so what they did is they initially fought him, but then this guy had the law and the U.S. government on his side. Sound familiar, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they basically told him you're going to have to leave or we're going to remove you by force. And that's chilling because sometimes I think that's what's happening here. And so what the people did is and I thought this was interesting too, with the guidance of the minister of the town. They decided to stand down, but they said, look, they own the land, but not the buildings. So they blew all the buildings up. And they marched out of town singing, Onward Christian Soldiers. I thought that was really kind of interesting. Perhaps Michael Landon was more of a prophet than he ever thought he was.
Paul, I heard that same story this past week, and that episode was written from a true story that actually happened. Wherever Walnut Grove was.
Oh, it did? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. And how that's where they got it from because of you compare it to what's going on now, and that's why they put that in there. Was that the first episode or the last one?
It was the last episode.
Okay, that's all right.
Because Melissa Gilbert was an adult, and she was married, and she actually, I think, had her own child.
Uh-huh.
Her own biological child on the show.
Now,
but it was just interesting. I mean, who would have ever thought back in whenever that was, you fast forward 30 years or whatever, and we're kind of dealing with the same thing. You know, we don't. You know, how much do we rise up against our government if need be, and will we? And you know, so it's just kind of interesting to me.
Good. Did you want to say something?
No. Oh, I was, but I've changed my mind.
Let's go to
It
it.
was rather controversial on Christmas with
Yeah, all right.
my sister's a communist. So
Okay. You guys been following this Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yes, Dennis.
Okay.
what's he going to do with this stimulus check?
Well, buy another AK-47. Did you see they?
I'm going to tell you guys something.
Oh.
The only stimulus that I need is, Shirley.
Shirley. Oh, God.
Shirley has checked out.
Oh, God.
Shirley.
So
Oh.
let me see if I get this right. Correct me if I'm wrong. They spent $2 million to bail a kid out, but now they were penniless to provide for his defense. So the family started selling branded merchandise online with his mother controlling this. I loan control the website in Kyle's defense fund. They were selling stickers for $6, sweatshirts, 24 trucker hats and things like that. They had at this time of a couple weeks ago raised $17,000 toward the anticipated $2 million defense fund. The company that was making all these has cut out of the deal because they're saying you can't make a profit from a crime, although he's still innocent. But whoever was making these items backed out of it and they're no longer part of the equation.
Once again, you are behind the times, Scott, because somebody else has taken up the crusade.
Sorry, Elmo, I didn't see that.
And they're back on the market. So
All right.
that's it. So.
Well, what do you think of that concept, guys?
Well, I think anybody associated with the kid is going to be marked, and they probably didn't want to be marked for future abuse of who knows what kind. You know,
Well,
they'll be marked to be attacked somehow.
Paul, what do you think?
Well, I think it's capitalism, right? I mean, it's
That's
an
it.
idea. Somebody decided to take a risk financially and do this, and it's either going to work or it's not going to work, and they're either going to sell millions and millions of dollars of this merchandise, or they're going to fold their tent. So more power to the concept.
You know, here's a question. If you can't make a profit off a crime, why do all these guys write books? And it, usually if they do that, you know, and where does the money go? So, okay, so that, actually my son brought this up. Okay, and Scott, I mentioned this before. Who gets the royalties for using Jeffrey Dahmer's image on this, on this thing?
I know it ain't
I
us.
think, you have a pending court case here. Obviously, he's convicted and dead and everything like that. But I think all this stuff probably goes to the families of the victims. That's
you know what? That was one
There's
concept.
probably a court order that
Yeah.
that says that. So
Well, we'll have to
so
follow
it could
that.
be his victims' families are actually manufacturing these things.
All right, so going
in
into right now's case, you had one company that went into it and got out of it after only 17,000. You got another one, and
jumped in and
they
did
jumped
it.
in, and for every one that jumps out, you probably got 100 lined up
That's
to
right.
say, "Hey, we'll take a shot at this." But
Can make more than a stupid stimulus check for $600, but that's
did you hear? You guys remember
Paul,
hearing that?
Paul, you want to talk about getting into a situation where you're going to come home missing a body part? There it is, right there.
Yeah.
I'm going over to Dahmer's house for hors d'oeuvres.
If you come home.
Right.
If I come home, right?
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, look. One of the things I've tried to resolve in my head is, if this goes the way I think it's going to go, I think there is going to be persecution, and you almost have to embrace it. You almost have to take the attitude of, like, I'm going to be persecuted, maybe unjustly. Well, I guess persecution is being judged unjustly, but are you willing to accept that? I mean, at what length are you willing to go?
Paul,
I think
this is-
everybody has to start.
This is the thing I just didn't say, but I'm going to say it now anyway. And I brought this up on Christmas because I was arguing with my sister, and it was Once you accept the fact that your life on Earth will end by being beheaded in a federal prison, everything else is easy.
I mean, you know,
It's hard to believe Shirley hung up on us.
I used to think that was ridiculous, and I made it as a joke. I don't think it's ridiculous anymore. That's the problem. Okay.
We got a couple minutes left. You guys want to talk about anything else?
Well, Scott,
oh, go ahead,
I
Dennis.
just wanted to say one thing, Paul. You guys were talking about the fact that there might not be any more malls in the future. Is that true?
Well, Dennis, we'll find a home for you.
Here, Dennis, you can look forward to this. That's it. Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
So Scott, I just want to say, I did, you know, you had asked for, I saw on your list, parts for the hovercraft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Buy a carburetor. I don't know if you got it or not. I know you've been trying
You sent him a carburetor for Christmas?
Hovercraft. The mothership, right?
Oh.
Hey, Dennis.
Well, I was the hovercraft guy. I want to replace all cars, all wheel dependent cars with hovercrafts. Just like you wouldn't have to pave the streets. Of course, you'd have to mow the lawns in there. Then that would be a problem. But do that. You just fly around in those things, and they've got big rubber bumpers on them. It's like bumper cars. There'd be no accidents. You just bounce off of everything.
You know, Dennis,
float around in those.
the Chrysler site of the 107 acres is being developed into an innovation neighborhood, and we're paying some $1 billion project or whatever. And so maybe they'll put in some strip malls in there for you to deal with.
I'm highly disappointed on this plan.
Accent on the word strip.
I'm highly disappointed. What happened to Pervert World? That's the whole,
You know, Paul.
after all the work we did on
Yeah.
Pervert World, now they're doing this stuff.
That was one of our big
Innovation Center?
$1 billion. Geez, we could have spent. We had Pervert World was going to be a gated community, and you put all the guys like,
Anybody that got released from prison for being a pervert. That's
even
it.
like.
They can't go by schools, they can't do anything
Are
like
you
that,
guys-
but they can live inside Pervert World.
Have we gotten to the point when you hear things like innovation center and, you know, opportunity zone that you just know it's just a bunch of bullshit?
That's exactly right.
You know, we're going to leave that in.
You know it.
Honest to God,
Paul,
like
that's
every
an
time-
excellent point.
Every time you hear something like that, like, you know, innovation center,
It's corporate speak.
opportunity zone, imagination, you know, all that stuff, it's just all crap.
I'm still trying to reimagine the police.
hey, here's how the mayor Ann Rame described it: neighborhood opportunities in education, workforce training, entrepreneurial development, job placement, high growth digital fields, whatever that is. All right, Elmo, come on.
It's all garbage. Come on.
I'm not going to go there, please. I'm begging you. We've got a couple minutes left. I'm not going to do that.
Well,
no, I'm not. Or math.
no, it makes no sense.
Well, I know that's my point. Let me finish, okay? God. So you're right, Paul. All of these fancy terms mean nothing.
It's a word salad. That's all it is. He's got somebody.
Miss-
I've known John for
I
a
have
long
a
time. He
comment
doesn't talk like that. Somebody wrote him that thing to put.
Probably.
Yep.
You know, I remember when they
God,
did,
here comes the voice of reason. Go ahead, Gong.
My gentlemen, my testicles are aching.
What?
Have they dropped?
no,
Well, they dropped years ago, and then they shrunk back up into Mr. Barter's situation.
now see, there's
Now, after all that programming talk,
We can fix those, Gunga. So
they're
okay.
starting to ache.
anyway. That's what should have been included in the article. So,
I'll ask my friend who's a Kenosha alderman. I'll ask him what all that means. I'll have him try to define that.
This was some years ago when Steve Casey and I on the radio about 13 or 2014, and he was the alderman of the Uptown area, and the Uptown was they put in those bell and all the bulb bell corners, and they were going to put something over there. And the concept at that time was it gives you a sense of place. Now, what the heck does that mean?
A sense
What's a
of
sense
place,
of place?
Right.
And that's all these buzzwords, they ain't buzzwords, but I agree. that who's going to understand
You
this?
just have to say every time. Honestly, whenever you hear talk like that, you just got to dismiss it right away out of hand and just say, "You guys are just all a bunch of. It's just all bullshit." You know, just make the community safe. Provide for the the common good or whatever, and stop it with all this other shit.
Yeah.
Let people
No,
really know what the hell they're doing.
Paul, it's the 3 S's: streets, safety, sanitation. You take care of that, and let the private sector take care of the rest of it. Because if the government provides
let the
that,
business people
everything
who
else
really
will
know
work
what the
out.
hell they're doing handle the rest.
Okay. We got one topic before we finish. Wait, one more topic before we finish. They had these meetings.
Did you guys hear what Jerry Seinfeld lobbied Schumer to get in the stimulus bill?
What?
comedian comic relief.
Assistance for comedy clubs.
Hey, they're
That's
giving
a
it to the
stimulus
Kennedy
bill.
Center. Why not?
Now, all right, got one question. We got 4 minutes left. You know, the city of Kenosha was having all these listening, and they're coming away with practical, defund or police reform. Why don't we just have and wake up and call criminal reform? Because in the same time this article was in, there's an article about Kenosha juvenile injured in a shooting, another shooting in the Uptown area, and I mean, it's one thing after another. Why don't we have criminal reform? I'll let you guys address that.
I concur. I say bring in as many criminals out of the cell and bring them into your home.
Paul, we're sending all our
Well, I
criminals
can
to
tell you-
Racine. How about that?
It's like you don't have enough.
I can tell you from experience, nobody finds religion like they do when they're locked up.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all
The minute
from God.
It's the come
The
to
minute they get out, though, I don't think they can find a church.
no,
So
it's the come to Jesus moment. That's
Yeah.
it.
All I can say is when I call 911, I want the cops to show up. I don't want some social worker with the Bible knocking on my door. I want somebody there that's got some authority
Social
to
workers
protect me.
don't use Bibles.
Well, whatever.
and
Manual.
and mysteriously,
Amen.
drug addicts for the most part give up drugs when they're locked up in prison too.
Oh, sure. yeah.
Well, for the most part, yeah. I think I've heard a few stories that there's more drugs in prison than there are in the street. That's a whole other
Well,
That's
thing.
how to
yeah.
do criminal reform. Unfortunately, sometimes you've got to remove the criminal.
Well, yeah, everything's defund the police. Why don't we defund criminals and have criminal reform? Let's start with that first and let the police do their job. I think Kenosha County is supposed to add 6 new deputies, and plus they're all getting, it was in today's paper, the city and the county of Kenosha are getting body cams and some other cams for their squad
I think
cars.
the sad part of it is, I think law enforcement, they do a good job of like circling their wagons around each other, and look, they're gonna have their careers and they're gonna do the best job they can. The sad part of it is the people who are really victimized are those who fight against the police, not realizing that it's in their best interest to have strong law enforcement. It just makes their life better, and they don't recognize it.
And then we'll close with this. Who's the guy, not Pink Floyd, but the guy in Minnesota? George
Floyd.
Pink
Pink Floyd.
He'd be alive. Brianna I misspoke. And all these people, including, what's his name, Jacob Blake, would be walking today had they all just complied with the police order. They'd all be either alive.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have this
That's simple.
situation. So when the police say stop, I mean, it would, and you got
If
to
you
work for your
comply,
rest.
you ain't gonna die.
There you
That's
go.
the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Paul?
Right. It's honestly, it's that simple. And it's like, you really think that these guys in law enforcement want to go out and kill people? They don't. They really don't. They want to, they're like everybody else. They want to do their job. They want to do it well, and they want to go home.
Yep,
Exactly.
Yeah, they want to leave the house in the morning and not have any problems and just go home. So, I get it.
Dennis, you got the final word.
Well, I can just tell you this. When somebody commits a crime, today, if you get locked up, you really deserve to be, because there's so many deflectionary programs, so many second chances before you have to do time, that if you get locked up today, you really deserve to be locked up. You really do.
Yep.
Let's end with that. Amen, brother.
That's it.
Dennis,
We got.
thanks for your time.
We have less than 15 seconds left.
Talk to you next
so-
week. And Paulie, thank you. We'll talk to you again. And that is
Talk to you
going-
next year.
Yep. It's going to wrap it up for the December 26th edition of the Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. I want to thank our sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, Kenosha's for Open Honest Government, and Charlie V's Kids for Cancer Treatment Foundation. We have been streaming to you live. Oh, come on, I don't want to end with that.
Oh, no,
I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm taking it off. Come on.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Let me finish this
That's
up.
right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Finish it. Come on.
Don't yell at me. We've been streaming. I hate that. Streaming live this morning from the Barter Manor studio located on the corner of Happy and Wrong. So for Elmo and myself, until we meet again, thank you for the privilege of your time and have a very safe and pleasant weekend.
Her mama always told her that it was very bad. And all the cheesecake salesmen said that he was big fan. Her agent's always smiling. He's the only one who was sad. This media audience has made me very bad. Next commission. On TV. Really look good to me. Looks like in a couple of weeks you'll be on People magazine. Adolescent dreams. She really doesn't know what it is to be able when you're all over Written by our piano player, Mr. Elmo the Insane.
Well, I'm not a crook.